make this comment box a little bit larger. So let me see if I can do that on the fly. I know, like here at my house, I know our family watches the show on the TV. So, I definitely want to make sure that you're getting quality content. So Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Let's go forward and break down these stats, and then we'll look at the player grades, and then I'll take your calls. But right now, hold off on the calls, and then I'll let you know when the call-in line is open. As we look at the overall stats from this game, as you know, it was 47-23 with Alabama moving to 3-0 on the season. And I think we got to start out with Tua Tagovailoa. And by the way, you won't believe his Pro Football Focus grade. I'm going to show that in just a minute. 28 of 36, 444 yards, 5 touchdowns, passing rating of 227.2. Just incredible. Mac Jones got in there, 3 attempts, 3 completions, 51 yards. And again, the Alabama running game is very interesting because they don't necessarily have a running game, right? And as Nick Saban said following the game, if it's not broke, don't fix it regarding the offense. As you see, Najee Harris, 7 attempts, 36 yards. Brian Robinson, 8 attempts, 33 yards. And it was still, decent averages, I guess. I asked earlier, what is this team's vulnerability throughout, these first couple of games that you've seen? Receiving wise, Devontae Smith had a big game, 8 receptions, 136 yards with 2 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs, 6 receptions, 122 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 6 receptions, 68 yards. Najee Harris, 5 receptions for 87 yards. And then B-Rob, 2 receptions for 37 yards. Ryan Helinski on the other side for South Carolina, 36 of 57. I thought, I enjoyed the moxie that this young man came with. I think he brought it right to Alabama. He didn't care who he was playing. Came out guns blazing, 324 yards. Alabama actually allowed a 100-yard rusher, as you can see. And then look how many different receivers, Helinski got into the mix. 36 receptions in total to 9 different receivers for 323 yards. On the far right, I'll see if I can get that a little bit more level for you guys. Can you see the penalties? 11 penalties for 92 yards for Alabama. So a lot of penalties. Now, I do want to interject real quick before we continue talking about the stats and go forward. Now, there is some breaking news. We're trying to confirm it right now, but it's regarding LaBryan Ray. That's Alabama's very talented defensive end who suffered an injury. And Saban said after the game that it was an injury regarding the same foot that he had trouble with. So we're trying to confirm it. It looks like he could be out indefinitely. So as soon as we get an official update or we can confirm the reports that are going on right now, it looks like LaBryan Ray suffered a serious injury. And I think, another big blow to this defense. So when you talk vulnerabilities, obviously injuries has to be one of them. You look at, Alabama's loss, Dylan Moses, Joshua McMillan before the season even started had to pipe in some freshmen. And if LaBryan Ray does miss extended time, you got to be thinking a guy like Justin Ebogbe's got to step up, and he's just coming up for injury. So before we go into that and take your calls, let's continue with the stats real quick. A lot of stats to break down. Moving forward, these were the defensive stats. Xavier McKinney led the team again with tackles, total tackles, 9 tackles, 5 of those solos. Patrick Surtain and Josh Jobe had 8 tackles. Shane Lee had 8 tackles as well. As you saw, Ali Kahu got a lot of time at the will linebacker position. I think, Saban's trying to figure out exactly, what is going to happen from that inside linebacker per se, because is it going to be Christian Harris? Is it going to be Kaho? Is it going to be Markel Benton? I think he's still trying to figure it out, but I think Shane Lee is good to go where he's at. Here's the season stats for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tua Tagovailoa, 70 completions off 91 attempts. Great percentage, 76.9, 1,007 yards. And look at the yards per attempt. Just, it's interesting compared to last season at this time because Alabama was just throwing bombs, right? 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, rating of 213.4. Just incredible numbers. Najee Harris, 31 attempts for 156 yards. Brian Robinson, Killian Robinson, Jerome Ford next in line. Those rushing yards, it's not what we're accustomed to seeing from Alabama. But then again, as we turn the page to look at the receiving numbers, look at these, right? Jerry Jeudy, 24 receptions, 308 yards. Devontae Smith, 18 receptions, 237 yards. Henry Ruggs, 12 receptions, 202 yards. Jalen Waddle, 8 receptions, 154 yards. With a 19.3 average, they just haven't gotten him in the end zone. And then Najee this past Saturday, now he has 6 receptions for 99 yards and those 2 touchdowns that he caught. So, really, exceptional numbers from the receivers. This was a graphic that I created earlier today, and it kind of just shows you from a standpoint how much these guys are balling out. This Fab Four of receivers that Alabama has. Look at those averages. They're just doing such a great job. I don't think we'll see another receiving core like this in college football for quite some time. These guys, these 4, just so electric, so dynamic, and it's really incredible to see each week how these guys progress. And I think it's just it's just a matter of time till we see these guys in the NFL. Looking at the defensive stats, Xavier McKinney has 23 tackles overall, which leads the team. He has 1 interception. See if I can bring that down just a little bit. Shane Lee has 19 tackles. It's great for a true freshman. What did you think of Raekwon Davis's play last game? Thought he was up and down, mostly up. 16 total tackles. Anthony Jennings, he's been doing a great job. 15 tackles, 3 of those for loss. Patrick Surtain, 13 tackles. He has an interception. Should have had another interception. Was negated because of an interception. Josh Jobe has 11 tackles. Christian Harris has 11 tackles. Trayvon Diggs. And there's the tackle list. As we look at the SEC as a whole, you see that Joe Burrow is leading the conference, and he has 1,100 yards. He's been doing a great job. LSU's offense certainly catching the attention of the nation. I think a lot of people certainly already have that game circled when LSU comes to Tuscaloosa. But look at those top 2 quarterbacks doing a great job. Transfer from Clemson to Missouri, Kelly Bryant doing a good job, 798 yards. He has 6 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But if you look at Tua's numbers compared to these guys, this is, it's really incredible. And then you have Kellen Mond, 63 of 97, 747 yards. And then Felipe Franks, really bummed out to see that kid go out. I thought he was doing a great job. Really polished quarterback. I was impressed with his game. And there's Helinski, who we just saw after 2 games. He already has 606 yards. I just have a lot of respect for him. And then Jake Fromm there at the bottom. As you look at the rushing statistics in the SEC, no guys from Alabama up in there. Kalen Hill leading 4 at Mississippi State with 431 yards, doing a great job. 2 rushing touchdowns, but no guys from Alabama up there, right? Receiving wise, it's a different story. You got Jerry Jeudy, who's second. He has the most receptions, 24 receptions, 4 passing touchdowns. Justin Jefferson doing a great job for LSU as well. Devontae Smith up there with 18 receptions, and then you also have Henry Ruggs there at the bottom. This is the defensive statistics, and as you can see, Xavier McKinney has 23 total tackles, which he's tied for 5th in the SEC. He's been playing lights out. Got a lot of respect from him. I think he did a great job in this last game, as Alabama was certainly challenged. Here's a look at Alabama's remaining schedule. Southern Miss, as you know, that game will be 11 a.m. on ESPN2 this Saturday. Temperature should be wicked hot once again, and then Alabama will take on Ole Miss. Then they will have a bye week before traveling to College Station to take on Texas A&M, then taking on Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU. All those games are at home. And then they travel to Stark, Vegas to take on Mississippi State on November 16th, followed by Western Carolina. And then there is the big one with Auburn in Auburn on November 30th. So I appreciate you guys checking in. I just wanted to go over the stats and really kind of, show you guys the stats and kind of just, now that we've had 3 weeks to settle in, it's just, there's a lot to look at. And, the passing game has been phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and open up the call lines, then we'll talk about the grades here later on. But the call line is now open, 205-686-3604. I'm still trying to follow the update regarding LeBron Ray. And looks like I was able to confirm it. And just give me 1 second. And looks like LeBron Ray is going to miss some time. This is a big one. You're seeing it live on air right now. LeBron Ray to miss an extended time. And It's a big loss, especially to, the defensive side of the football. I think, I wrote about it earlier in my 10 takeaways. Call line is open, by the way. That the defense, do we even need how much defense does Alabama really need? Because the offense is, electric right now. I mean, the offense has just done a phenomenal job, and they're just rolling through opponents. And I know you can't really take too much from Duke and New Mexico State, but I think when Alabama is on and they really want to put the pedal down, they can do whatever they want just because those receivers are so talented. And, how much defense do you really need in college football anyways? Call line is open. 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. Happy to take your call. We can look at the player grades while we wait for our first caller. Here we go. Here are the grades from South Carolina. And it is an ugly grade for Tua Tagovailoa. And I actually asked Pro Football Focus early this morning because the grades are published early in the morning following the game, and as you can see, it's a 58.0. So I was curious. I was like, why did he have such a low grade when he had such an incredible performance? And I'll get right back to that after we take this call. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
David calling from Halton, Louisiana.
Yeah, I appreciate it. How was your Sunday today?
Oh, it was pretty good. Just hot, about 98 degrees down up here in North Louisiana. Just one of them days.
It's been hot everywhere, right? So what's on your mind? And, what was your major takeaways from Saturday's game against South Carolina?
Well, my major takeaways would really consist of the offensive line, allowing a lot of more pressure towards Tua at times. They break down some, and a lot of the penalties, holding calls. Defensively, the secondary, they got some weaknesses in the secondary they need to work on a little bit better than what it was, last year in the 2015 season, when we had probably the best defense in college football ever. Mm-hmm. And but other than that, Tua, he's on target. To me, he's the top quarterback in the country. I'm not taking it away from Joe Burrow, but from the LSU schedule, they played Texas Longhorns, and that's a Big 12, defense, and their defenses are usually not that great. They've always relied on the offense just to outscore everybody. But as far as linebackers, I believe Lee, he's going to do really, really well where he's at. He's young. We lost a lot of our big defensive linemen, last year, with Quentin Williams. And if we had them guys, back again, yeah, we would be dominating more, getting more sacks and pressuring the opponent quarterback a lot more. But, Alabama, they're still young. They're a young team, we're in a rebuilding/reloading season. As far as offensively, Judy and Waddle and all them, they're really good. There's not a receiving corps in the country that can compete or compare to Alabama's. As long as the offensive line can give Tua enough time to step back there and pick these secondary guys off to get the ball to Judy or whoever, there's not a defense that can really compete against us. I don't know what your take would be on it, but that's the flaws that I see, as of defensively and offensively. Other than that, I think they'll be okay until we get to LSU. LSU is going to probably be the biggest struggle because it's always a tough game, no matter if we play at Tiger Stadium or at in Tuscaloosa. You know, it's always a battle between them two more than any other team that we play in the season.
No, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in. I think when you look at this team and you look at the defensive side of the ball, I mean, they were challenged for the first time this season. And because, you know, Duke and New Mexico State obviously weren't going to hit this team in the mouth, I think South Carolina came in with a game plan to attack the secondary. And I think it's only going to make this team better for it. I think when you look at the defense overall, there's so many new faces, and especially, you know, in the inside linebacker play. I mean, Alabama is starting 2 freshmen. I think they're trying to figure out what exactly is going on from a freshman standpoint in the inside linebacker area. And,
Right.
and I think that's affecting the overall defense. But I think the secondary, I think they should be in a good spot. And I think they're only going to get better. I'd like to see more improvement from Josh Jobe. I think we did see that in this last game. But there's a lot of veteran leadership back there with Xavier McKinney, Jared Maiden. I thought the touchdown that Alabama did allow from Helinski was a throw that was an NFL throw. It was right in between Jordan Battle and Shaheem Carter. There's another guy, another young gun stepping up as a freshman, Jordan Battle. So there's a lot of young faces on the defensive side. And when you talk vulnerabilities about this team, I think that the defense has vulnerabilities just because there are freshmen playing. But I think the positive is what teams are going to outscore Alabama? Is it going to be, could it be an Oklahoma? Could it be a Clemson? I mean, there's a certain group out there that might have what it takes, but you're talking about one of the most incredible quarterbacks that we've seen in Tua Tagovailoa with the most dynamic wide receivers in all of college football. So, like Nick Saban said, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I know a lot of us are hung up on the running game, but, you know, if things are, you know, so on fire with this passing attack, and especially what Steve Sarkisian has added with this short passing tree that's made things so efficient in these RPOs that, you know, has been allowing Tua to just take what the offense is allowed, or the defense what has allowed him. You know, it's been pretty impressive to see what he's done through these first 3 weeks. Anything else while you're on the show?
The only thing I think is when we play LSU, as I've watched them, you know, I have no choice. I'm the only Alabama fan out of my whole family. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, and grew up being an Alabama fan. Everybody else is LSU fans, unfortunately. They don't know what it's like to win a championship, really. But anyways, as I watched them play Northwestern the other night, a little school from about 60 miles down the road from me. That little team moved the ball fairly well against LSU in the first half. And I know LSU didn't have a lot of starters in or anything, but even in the Longhorns game, their secondary looked pretty shaky, you know. So and I told everybody, I said, I believe that whenever Alabama plays LSU, and if their secondary hasn't gotten any better with Judy and Ruggs and all of them running down the field, and Tua has some time to get the ball to one of them, and Alabama gets the first strike in, it's going to break down LSU to a point. You know, I mean, to me, I don't think their secondary is as strong as it should be. In Alabama, if they can score and keep scoring and get the ball back and shut down Joe Burrows and their receiving core and their running backs, I think there's going to be a long night for LSU. So other than that, that's all I have to say. And I appreciate you taking my call. And you have a good rest of your Sunday. And I'll be listening to the rest of the show.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in. Please call again next time. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. As I was talking about, I mean, these grades for Tua Tagovailoa, right? I mean, 58.0 it's really appalling almost to see these grades, right? So I emailed Pro Football Focus, asked for an explanation, and they got right back to me, said that he didn't make any big-time throws, you know, and a lot of the throws that he made were to open receivers that were just good by design. So I'll take this call again, and we'll continue it. How's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? Let me stay on the line while I walk through these grades real quick, and then we'll get to it, okay?
Okay.
So Tua Tagovailoa, 58.0 grade out, and let's look at his passing tree, and these are by the numbers, and you can see that usually to the outside right and 25 yards downfield, is in that 95% range. And in this particular game, South Carolina, as Saban said, they were crowding the box, so they left a lot of the option, the RPO, up to Tua to eat him up over the middle of the field. So as you can see, the 10 plus and under 10 yards, I mean, Tua really ate him up, and Tua still has to make those decisions, though, right? So I don't know. I mean, I was really disappointed to see the grade. I don't care what the grades are, but I mean, I just felt that he was almost robbed because he has to make those throws. He has to know when to get rid of the football. And I mean, 58.0. I mean, Pro Football Focus, I really like their grades. This one was just kind of a head scratcher. So what's going on, Robert? How you doing tonight, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, yeah, I guess we'll have to get used to the fact that Alabama's just not going to be a running team anymore.
Oh, mm-hmm.
It's kind of surprising. But it looks like it is what it is, forcing the run even when the box is loaded. It's just not something we're going to do anymore. I think that's our lowest run total in forever. I can't remember last time we got about under 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, sorry to interrupt, Robert, but I think this is in football nowadays. I mean, look at the two teams that made the Super Bowl. I mean, look at where college football is. I mean, look at the teams that are excelling. I mean, it's if you can pass it and be efficient. I mean, it's like the run game is almost it's sad to see it go almost, but things are changing. And when you have these receivers, how can they not air it out with Tua?
Yeah, that's something we'll just have to get used to. We kept saying we need to run the ball more. But I guess what we need again is, okay, yeah, you can sacrifice it as long as Tua's, making the decisions he's making. And he's definitely grown from, last year, which, again, if you're going to be a next level great quarterback, you're going to grow from year to year. I mean, look at Dak Prescott for Dallas right now. So if you're a smart quarterback and, with the talent, and you learn from what you did wrong and you grow from it. And I mean, Tua's just making very smart decisions right now. He's dinking and dunking down the field. That's what, they'll take what the defense gives you, cliche. Of course, it's more than a cliche. It's just a fact if you want to win. And he's learned to just take what the defense gives him, not be fooled by defenses that he fooled him in the past. I think Clemson's going to be a hugely different story if Alabama plays Clemson again, I believe, with the new and improved Tua, which I guess Dabble may be smart enough to try to figure him out. But the way he's playing right now, there's no figuring him out. He's looking over the field well and making the right decisions at the right time. I think that the Heisman, so-called Heisman race, people aren't focusing on Jalen right now, but they just can't get over the fact Jalen hasn't played any good teams yet. They just haven't. The team they played have just been utter garbage.
UCLA, utter garbage. My goodness. I mean, I turned down that game because I wanted to watch Jalen. I have great respect for him and how he handles himself. Watch that game. I can't believe UCLA. That was unbelievable. They were terrible.
Yes.
But continue, Robert.
The linemen, the defensive linemen were just absolutely pancaked. But at one point, when Jalen had the defensive line, the offensive line for Oklahoma was pancaking UCLA's pathetic defensive line, Jalen still rolled out to the right when he had a good pocket, as he did. That tendency when someone is just near him to roll to that right. Now, unfortunately, because UCLA is so terrible, his receiver was just so wide open, it was ridiculous. So it didn't hurt him that time. But yeah, if they play Alabama, if you go with that tendency against Alabama, they're going to destroy you with it. I think it's going to happen when they play. Not doubting that Jalen and all, but I'm not convinced that he's it's in the house between Jalen and Tua right now. But then some want to give Jalen a slight advantage. But I think it's going to. I think he's going to come back down to earth pretty soon. Whereas Tua has more marquee games too. Because Jalen has absolutely no marquee games other than Texas.
Texas, yeah. But I mean, if you look at Oklahoma's schedule, I mean, they have that, like you're saying, you have Texas theoretically. Someone else if they make it to the Big 12 championship game. But that's really it. Whereas Alabama, the later part of the schedule does get difficult. And if LSU continues to stay on track, I can't even imagine the headlines going into Burrow versus Tagovailoa, for that SEC showdown.
Absolutely. I mean, that will be the marquee game, and for anybody, any of the top 10 teams, that's going to be the toughest game of the year for anybody in the top 10. If you if LSU, which there's a great chance LSU will come to that Tuscaloosa undefeated, in which case they'll be, I think what they're number 4 now. Is LSU, I think LSU's number 4 already, and they'll hold on to that, which means that the Alabama will play the toughest game against the toughest opponent of any ranked team in the season, and that's marquee on top of marquee for Tua. That's something left for him. Jalen has already defeated Texas team that which I think they can. I think Jack would actually pull that one out. Or definitely hang competitively, and probably even win.
I think it'll be very even in that particular game. I mean, so we've talked about the run game. We talked about Tua. Any concerns on the defensive side of the ball? I mean, look, there's freshmen starting all over. As I said earlier in the show, it looks like LeBron Ray could be out indefinitely as well. It looks like that's going to be another blow. We'll get the official update from Saban on Monday's press conference, but that would mean another freshman would be starting. So you got, theoretically, you could have Justin Mbogbe, DJ Dell, 2 inside linebackers as freshmen, Shane Lee and Christian Harris, and then you're going to have Jordan Battle all starting as freshmen, which is really unbelievable. So any concerns about the defensive side of the ball besides them being freshmen?
Oh, absolutely. And especially especially when it's garbage time, they just will not deny that the team that garbage touchdown in the end. I mean, it's just like when they say, when I put you complain about the second team complains about not playing, but when you're in, what do I see when you're in?
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Well, I don't. If you let people score, when you just show why you're second team when you're in there. It shouldn't there shouldn't be a drop off because the second team got in. I wish we could do a little better with the run defense. And again, South Carolina did get a lot of yards, but they got over 100. And so we definitely could use to shut that down. Although 100, they got 135, I believe. It's not going to destroy Alabama. Even with his Clemson, you only get 135 yards as long as you hold Trevor Lawrence or the quarterback now. Then that's okay. But again, it's just what we're not accustomed to. But like you said, it's the change in football, and we just have to go with it. It's the running game isn't as potent for us as we are accustomed to seeing it, but Longstreet is making it. But it could be a New England style offense with Tua at the helm. It could definitely be a New England Patriot style offense.
Yeah, just as Nick Saban said, last night, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Hey, Robert, I appreciate the call. Please call again.
Okay,
I always enjoy catching up with you. All right, let me run through these Pro Football Focus grades real quick. So this is Tua Tagovailoa's passing tree. As you can see, it's not as dynamic as it's been in the past, but still highly productive, especially across the middle of the field as Tua was taking what the defense was giving him. Here's a look at the running backs. Brian Robinson, 66.6 grade out. Najee Harris, 70.0 grade out. Slade Bolden, in the times that he was running the Wildcat position. What'd you think of the Wildcat, by the way? I like that Wildcat with Slade Bolden. I mean, such a great athlete. Also had a really good tackle on special teams. Here's a look at the receivers and how they graded out. The star indicates that the player did start in the particular game. Devontae Smith, 79.0. Yeah, I felt even that was low, right? I mean, when you talk about the game that he had, targeted 12 times, 8 receptions, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, a monster performance in my opinion. Jerry Jeudy, I thought, even Tua said after the game, if you watch his interview right after the game, right here on our YouTube channel, he said that Jerry was getting D'd up and still had 6 receptions, 68 yards, and it was good to see Jerry go against some good competition. I like that. I think he's going to be better for it, and he's going to rise up when he does play, that tougher competition. Henry Ruggs, 71.6 grade out, 6 receptions, 122 yards. How fast is Henry Ruggs? He's like a 4.1 40. It's crazy. It looks like everyone is jogging and it looks like Henry Ruggs is jogging. That's the crazy thing. Najee Harris with the 70.0 offensive grade, but his receiving grade was 88.2. Had those 2 big touchdown receptions, especially probably the play of college football so far, when he hurdled the dude and drug the other dude into the end zone, and then also stiff armed the dude into the turf. Jalen Waddle, check out this. He's only targeted one time, one reception for 12 yards. It just, man, I know there's a lot of mouths to feed, but it's crazy that Jalen Waddle doesn't get the football as much as you would think. I mean, if you played in any other system, I mean, you're talking about a player, getting tons of balls thrown at him every single game because he's just so explosive. I'll get your calls in just a minute, everyone. I just wanted to run through these Pro Football Focus grades. Again, the star indicates that the player started up top, Landon Dickerson. Pass blocking grade of 85.9. That was a bright spot, and I think he's improved since week 1. Evan Neal, really big jump from week 1 and week 2 with a 76.0 passing grade. Matt Womack got in there. Only played 8 snaps, though, so you can't, I mean, it's hard to gauge that specific grade. Look at Alex Leatherwood. He had a 73.9 pass blocking grade, a 54.9 grade overall, though. And then you look way at the bottom at Chris Owens, 51.4 grade out and a 59.3 in pass blocking, 49.4 run blocking. Jedrick Wills, 78.1 grade out. He always grades really well, 64.0 in pass block, and then good run block grade as well. On the defensive side, again, the start indicates if the player started. I have them all sorted by starters. Raekwon Davis with the 70.2 defensive grade. Thought he did well. There's a good clip floating around right now of him fighting off 2 defenders to get to the running back. DJ Dell, as a freshman, continues to grade out well, and this is probably his lowest grade of the season. LeBron Ray, who was injured, only played in 22 snaps, still graded out 65.2. Shane Lee, it's a low grade for him, 47.8. These grades have been brutal for this game, right? Anthony Jennings, that's a really high grade for him, and rightfully so. I thought he's played lights out. We don't talk enough about Anthony Jennings, just so solid, so consistent. Christian Harris also struggled. So you look at the 2 inside linebackers, 47.8 and 41.6. That's a low grade for Christian Harris. Yikes. No wonder why they put in Ali Cajo, trying to figure out, maybe Christian Harris isn't the guy. On the corners, you got Trayvon Diggs, 64.3. And then Patrick Surtain, of course, he always grades out well, 70.4. Xavier McKinney, 74.4. And even the game that he played. So brutal grades, but, maybe this is a real look in the mirror. There's Byron Young at the bottom. He's another freshman, 48.6. And Justin Ebogbe, who got back into the mix, 34 snaps, 59.3 grade out. Wow. Those, talk about, those grades are brutal. Oh, my goodness. All right, so here we go. Open up the phones. 205-686-3604. I'll take your calls. We can talk about, this game against South Carolina where I felt Alabama was really challenged. And we can also talk about this next game going into Southern Mississippi. Hey, what's going on? I know you've been calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling. Who am I on the line with?
What's going on, sir? I just got a quick question for you. Are there any white stars on Alabama's team? Any, white?
All right. So call-in line is open again. 205-686-3604. Don't be an idiot when you call in. Be an adult. 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. Happy to take your call and talk about this next one. I don't know if you guys saw, but Alabama is a 39-point favorite against Southern Miss. I guess no surprise. That game will be at 11 a.m. on ESPN2, it looks like. And you're right, Omar. I see you in the comment box. Xavier definitely balling out. Got another call coming in. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the call-in line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
How you doing, Kyle? It's Q.
Hey, what's
from
Q?
Brooklyn.
Hey, what's up, Q? How you doing, man? Good to hear from you, man. How was your Sunday?
I'm good. It's going well. It's going well. It's going better than my Saturday, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So thanks for calling in, of course. Break it down, man. I know you. I like your breakdowns on the defensive side of the ball. Start there.
Yeah.
Break down the defense.
Okay. Horrible, but that secondary needs to be reorganized, revamped, new dynamics. Shalom Carter, I'm sorry. Thank you for the 5 years, 6 years you gave us. But, brother, if you're going to play in the middle of that defense at the star position, you have to be playing better, make tackles. Patrick Surtain, they gave him a 70. I felt like him too with the arm tackles is not going to work for us. Jaden Maiden, him as well. He has. If you're gonna fly up and be a headhunter like that, you gotta wrap up and make tackles. I don't know what's going on, and I understand Saban wants to play a freshman, but you gotta get some experience in there. Daniel Wright at free safety, strong safety. Why not play him instead of Battle? I'm not knocking Battle. I'm not knocking at all. He's great. He did a great job, but get some experience back there so we can be able to dominate. Because if not, our secondary is going to get their butts whooped like they did versus Clemson. It's not going to work. It's not possible. Linebackers. I understand we're down 2 veteran linebackers. We have 4 other veteran linebackers in Jalen Moody, Ali Cahill. We have Malik Benton. What is it with the Christian Harris guy? He played well against those 2 unranked teams, unknown teams, and then he comes against South Carolina and the jitters is flying through his stomach. Other than that, that's the defense for me. They got to get better in the secondary. They played like a C class. We need them to be that ML 350 to 355, not the C class. C class is outdated.
Yeah, it's Saban definitely keeping Battle in there, and I seen in the comment box, a lot of people feel that Daniel Wright can't cover. I mean, maybe that's the case, and maybe the vulnerability is in the secondary. I just feel that with Xavier McKinney and Jared Maiden, there's enough veteran leadership back there and experience that they should be okay. It's just kind of they're trying to figure out if Battle can really play at this level. I
understand. I understand what you're saying. Not to cut you off or anything.
No, you're good.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I understand Jalen Maiden and Xavier McKinney. They're good. Trust me. But you know how many missed tackles we had last season? Last night against South Carolina in the secondary. You have to wrap up. Patrick Surtain, you're gonna come up. You're gonna press. You're gonna press like that. Wrap up when you hit the tackle. I understand you don't want to always throw your body, get hurt, risk of injuries, yes, early in the season. But if you're going to come up and make a tackle, don't make a tackle with the arms like that. It causes us yards, 5, 10 extra yards that we don't need to give up. Another thing, about the outside linebackers. The youngsters, okay, yeah, we can play them, but you have number 23, Grez Parks. You have other veteran guys that's supposed to be making their way up the depth line, not down. It seems like when we bring in new players, they make themselves down the depth line and don't bring themselves up. What's going on? I know we developing players, but they've been here for at least 2-3 years now, so they should be, okay, Terrell Lewis is not ready to play. Grez Parks, you go in. You know what to do.
Yeah.
It has to be that type of consistency.
What did you think of Terrell Lewis's play yesterday? I saw, these last couple of games. Yeah, it was kind of shaky. Did it seem like he was loafing a couple times to you? It seemed like he was.
I don't think he's 100%, and I'm praying for him to be 100% because I need him to go to the league.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the deal is with him because that first game you saw, we got to the quarterback. So maybe he's just, they're using him in spurts. You
can see that they're not trying to use him all the time, and trying to preserve him.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with him. Anthony Jennings has been really balling out.
He should. Honestly, I thought he was going to leave last season. I'm surprised he stayed, but I'm glad he stayed so he can give that front seven a veteran push. Because the 2 middle linebackers right now, one of them is bound to. I think Shane Lee is going to be our Mike linebacker, and it's either you plug Benton in or you plug Ali Cahill, or give Moody a chance. Why is Moody not getting a chance?
Did you like the play of Markel Benton yesterday?
Yeah, I think him and Ali Cahill came in. They did a good job. I think Ali Cahill just kept over pursuing. That's the problem with him. Mm-hmm. He's an over pursuer. He needs to learn how to take it easier and take 2 steps behind the running back and read the gap that he's pressing. I think Pete Golden is going to go over that with him, and we have this game we have coming up is going to be a test to what we are gearing up for, because SEC play is harder than they think. Yesterday, South Carolina came with the edge, and it came in the beginning, first 3 quarters, they came with the push.
No, I think you're right. I think we saw Alabama be challenged on the road in a very hostile environment in Columbia.
Hostile.
Now, as you know, going to College Station, that's going to be twice as amped up against a much better team, against a much better quarterback. You know what Kellen Mond did to Alabama last year? And he's been
Yep.
balling out. I mean, remember, I think he ran for, what did he run for, like 150 yards or something like that?
Yes, sir.
He's a good quarterback, so that's going to be a very difficult game.
That's him.
These guys were
And that's-
challenged yesterday.
And that's what I'm trying to see. Like, why aren't we putting our veterans in? Like I said, not to call his name again, Jerez Parks. We have a couple of guys, Christopher Allen. We have a lot of guys on the outside linebacker position that can play as veterans. I understand you're trying to get the freshmen in for the next classes coming in to prove them that, we do play our youngsters. Obviously, you can see that already. We do play our youngsters. So now it's time to gear up as to see play it and knock it out the park. Let's go on this drive. But our offense is spectacular.
Oh yeah, the offense it's anytime you just need to turn it up, you just turn it up with the offense. Q, I wanted to ask you one other thing on the special teams. I mean, the Will Riker yesterday, he was 2 for 3, missed a PAT. Yeah. There was also, I don't know if you guys saw, I'm sure you did. There was a 12-yard punt by Skylar DeLong. I mean,
I guess he got nervous on the house because South Carolina bought the house for him. And he never had nobody bring the house on him like that.
I think he had a 14-yard punt last year too. And then remember the Mike Bernier that came in and took over.
I guess it's just when the house is coming towards him, he gets a little nervous and he has to get out of there quick. But he has to be a little more like J.K. J.K. Yeah. He focused on where he was punting the ball to and where he wanted to let that leg go, and he cleared the house every time. I rarely had a J.K. give us any problems at punting. So Skylar, he better fix his ways because there is somebody behind you that will take your spot.
Yeah. Anything?
I wish you the best.
Anything else, Q, while you're on the show, man?
Yeah. I mean, just scare on our offense. We have 4 receivers that's NFL bound. I don't know how they keep when they talk about Judy and they talk about Ruggs, they forget about Smith. I don't know how you can forget about Smith. He has the best hands.
No, he's so nice. I mean, he's so smooth.
And you see him using the dead leg that Judy uses.
Did you see that guy? Did you see that guy try to tackle him and he just like tackled the air yesterday?
He did that. I had to replay it and then I had to practice it myself. Geez. Like, oh my God, can I do that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it was overall. We just need to improve on that secondary. That secondary and that linebacker. Defense in general, I give them a 75-80 as the way they played yesterday.
Good stuff. Well, end it out how you do, Q. Do it up.
You already know. It's Q from Brooklyn. I just want to say God bless America. God bless Nick Saban. God bless you, Kyle. God bless everyone. And have a great night. And we shall see Clemson again. Clemson, we're waiting on you, and we want all the smoke. But game by game, we will succeed. God bless you all.
I appreciate it, Q. Please call again next time.
Have a great one.
All right, you too, buddy.
All
right, Q from Brooklyn. I always like catching up with Q. Such good energy. Call line is open 205-686-3604. When we, nice. Got another call coming in. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from tonight? Hello? All righty. Calling again, 205-686-3604. I guess, most of the show has been about the defense, right? And people are, worried about the defense. And I get it. South Carolina, I guess above average team, was doing a great job against Alabama at times. Ryan Helinski, talk about a kid who just completely came in and didn't care who he was playing, right? He brought it to Alabama. I really respected his game through 4 quarters. I thought he did a great job. And, Alabama's going to see some very talented quarterbacks moving forward. Joe Burrow, as you know, he's doing a great job leading LSU so far. But, remember all the hype that there was last time when when Alabama and LSU were playing? I went to Baton Rouge last year. Went over there for the game, and it was packed, and it was the tailgate went for miles, and then it was just really all for nothing, right? Alabama just completely came out. The defense really stepped up and completely dominated. So I know people are pointing to that LSU game, and I hope it turns out to be a great game. But Alabama just really dominated the series. Hello, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mike from Kentucky. Kyle, how you doing?
Hey, Mike. What's up, buddy? How you doing tonight? Good to hear from you. How's your Sunday?
Oh, it was great. Had a real nice time. Did a little bit of fishing. It was fun. Kind of
Nice.
relaxed for a change.
Yeah, that's good. So, what's on your mind after Alabama's big win over South Carolina?
Well, I don't know. I have a question. Has anybody showed Scholar along the transfer portal yet?
Oh man, that's brutal, Mike.
I know, man, but come on. They can't let him kick the ball again. They can't. I mean, that's not the biggest problem, though. But I just couldn't believe. I was really hoping he'd, get it together this year. But whatever. Some got it, some don't. It's. I'm really thankful that our receivers and our quarterback are superb because we've got some work to do. I don't know what to attribute it to. It's not our players. We get anybody we want. And I'm just wondering if the coaching carousel ain't catching up a little bit. I mean, I'm just stupid jumping off sides, and I mean, just that ain't Bama football.
The penalties yesterday. I mean, 11 penalties on Alabama. I mean, it's just a lot of it just mental errors, right?
I mean, come on, man. My son played ball. You watch the ball. You should never jump off sides. You move when the ball moves. That's high school basic 101. I'm not too concerned about the way the secondary played. Man, that kid can throw the ball. He was one of the top pro-style quarterbacks in the country coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And it just seems like every year the young guns are getting better and better. That kid can play, so he can throw a football.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is, and all I can say is just recruit running backs that can catch.
yeah, I guess, right?
I mean, just find the guys that can run good and catch good too. But if not, you're not going to touch the ball.
Yeah.
It'll be over one of these days when Tua's finally gone. But
well, that's kind of what I'm asking. That's I mean, if you really want to ask about it, I mean, what do you? I mean, you guys have seen Mac Jones a little bit. I know it's been a small sample size, but I mean, it's I mean, are you confident that Mac Jones could lead this team? I mean, if we fast forward to next year.
Oh, he didn't look too bad, against South Carolina. He looked like he was throwing the ball with some confidence. He looked like a deer in a headlight. Other times in the past when I saw him on mop-up duty, he looked better. But I don't know if he can get us to the promised land. I mean, it was just such a small sample size. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
He looked better. He looked better against South Carolina. But I don't know. The O-line's still confused.
Did you see Chris Owens get blasted? I mean, he's been really struggling.
Yeah, I didn't really see that, but I just
there was one time
the D-line's not dominant.
Owens, who was a center, he was getting pushed back quite a bit, almost into Tua a couple times. I mean, he's just been struggling. He didn't play last week. He had a concussion protocol, but he struggled against Duke.
I think we've got enough time to get it ironed out by A&M.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mon's kind of helter-skelter. I mean, when he's on his A game, Mon's man, he rushed for 92 yards in the first half against us last year.
That's what I'm saying.
When he's having a good day, he has a really good day. But he looked terrible against Clemson. You just never know what you're going to get with that kid.
Definitely, yeah. Well, Mike, I appreciate you calling in. It's always great to catch up with you. Please call again next time.
All right, Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. All right, Mike in Kentucky. Great caller. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. I mean, I think in the last game that we saw, Mac Jones threw a laser. It seemed like he has much more confidence. Saban has said in the past that, hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling from?
Jalen from Trussville, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Kyle?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
Man, well, I want to start with the defense first. I kind of want to say, I think for the first time, the presence of Dylan Moses was kind of missed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Christian Harris was a little bit out of position Saturday. I also want to say about the defensive line, I feel like they're just not covering the holes, man. I mean, South Carolina ran all up the field on us. I don't know, Shane Lee had 8 tackles, so I guess he did do his thing, but Christian Harris, he might have just slacked a little bit on, helping him stop the run. But I just feel like the defensive line got to step up a little bit more to stop the run. Maybe it's eye discipline. I really don't know. But just from what it looks like to me, we got to cover those gaps, man. Because if we allow opponents to run on us like that, then we're doomed, man. Because we can't run the ball and they can run on us. We have nothing but Tua in the offense, man. With the explosive wide receivers we got. So.
Yeah, I think, with the defense, I think even more so, I think Saban, you can see that him and Golding are concerned with the will linebacker position. That's where Christian Harris is, and I think you're right. You could see that missing a veteran at the inside linebacker position, especially in a game where, they faced a team who really had opposing physical running backs like South Carolina did. And I think Shane Lee, of course, he had 8 tackles, but I think overall, from a schematic standpoint, I think some of those two are having struggles. They're freshmen. How could they not, right? And I think more so Christian Harris is having trouble. So that's why you're starting to see Benton get in there. I think you're starting to see Ali Cajo. I don't think we've seen Jalen Moody just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps in there as well. They have some guys to swap in and out, but I think when we talk vulnerabilities, I think it's certainly the inside linebackers. And when you're going to go against teams from the SEC that can really pound the football, they're going to take it to Alabama, especially now that it looks like Alabama could have 2 freshmen starting on the defensive line, probably DJ Dell and Justin Ebogba. It's just unbelievable to think that 5 freshmen could be starting on Alabama's defense.
Right. Like I said, gotta give them their props. They are freshmen. I think they're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people should panic just yet.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, man, we do have to get that defense, at least the front 7, fixed as soon as possible. Because the run, if we can at least just obtain the run just a little bit better, I feel like the secondary is going to definitely come together, man. Definitely. I'm more confident in the secondary, of course. I think everybody is.
Yeah,
so,
no, I agree. I have confidence in the secondary. It's more so, sometimes I would like to see a little bit more pass rush. I think it exists. I haven't, seen it the way I'd like to see it.
Right.
I think, Raekwon Davis, even though he's not sagging the quarterback, he's doing his thing. He's still providing the leadership. He's still, wrapping up the running backs in the backfield. Anthony Jennings has been solid. So the components are there. The leadership is there. You just can't have any more injuries, and then again, looks like LeBron Ray is going to be out for some time. We'll get the official update. It's just a big blow to Alabama if that's the case. Anything else while you're on the show?
No, I think that's all. Of course, the offensive line. The same story every weekend.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to kind of think maybe the running backs are kind of just tiptoeing. I noticed about Killian Robinson when he came in the game, man.
Did you see how he hit that hole?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to talk about.
It was like a cannonball.
He ran the ball. He came and ran the ball. So that's why I'm just beginning to think maybe, most of it's offensive line, but maybe it's Brian Robinson and Najee, man. It could be them. So just wanted to throw that out there, man. But like I said, once again, appreciate you for taking my call, Kyle.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, man. All right, call line is still open, 205-686-3604. Killian Robinson, when he got in, he looked like a cannonball. He just shot right in there. It wasn't, he didn't blast out a 74-yard touchdown like last week, but, the kid can come with it, and he's only 186 pounds. He certainly brings it. How's it going? It's Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Alex calling from Mississippi.
How you doing, Alex? Doing all right today?
I'm pretty good, man. The number 1 big fan, man. I'm gonna touch on what he just left on. I think it is the running backs, man, because we can't keep calling the offensive linemen not in week 3. I really started to notice after Keelan hit that hole. I started to notice that it was Najee. It's Najee and Brian, and they tiptoed through the hole. But I just think it'll get better as the season goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But Keelan definitely showed that it's not just the offensive line. And also with that, I've noticed that the 2 freshman inside linebackers, they are always a step behind. You can tell they are totally athletic and gifted, But as of right now, it's just the experience. They always seem to be one little step behind as far as stopping the first down or stopping that just the 2 yards. They're always one little step behind. But I like the secondary, man. You can't ask for more out of those 2 cornerbacks. And I think as the season goes on, it's just going to gel, man. I like what I see. Besides the injuries are killing us. You can't. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's the only thing that's really killing us. Besides that, I think the team will be gelled in by week 6, man. I just wanted to put that in there.
Hey, let me pause right there. I know a lot of people keep asking me a couple of things. They're talking about, am I not taking their call? Our Sunday call is very popular. So when people call in, I take the calls as they come in. So no, I'm not blocking your number. I'm only blocking people who act like idiots, right? So if you don't call, if you don't get through, just keep calling, or I'll catch up with you another time. So just keep calling. But like I think you bring up a good point of view in the fact that these running backs. They might not even be the focal point, though, man. I mean, it's the receivers, it's the passing game. I mean, this is 2019 we're living in. This isn't Alabama from the past when they had to rely on the run game. Now, the positive thing is the fact that Alabama can still control the time of possession with these short passing trees, because I think last year under Mike Locksley they were scoring at will, like they could. This year if they wanted to, but the time of possession is going to be very important, especially when you play in those marquee games later on down the season.
And what you're saying, it being 2019, I also had to take and look at, they were getting the ball to the running backs just in a different way. They were doing the little short passes, and Najee would take it from there just like I exposed to wide receivers. You do the short passes to the running back and they would take off and do what they had to do from there. So, I mean, everything is changing and it's just a different look. Sometimes, these defenses have changed. So you can't really just pin your nose back and go. These defenses have changed and they've adjusted to the speed of the offense. So you have to switch up. You can't just do out formation sometimes. So I've been involved with Coach Saban. Sometimes we just have to switch it up and try to get balls in the playmaker's hand in other type of ways. So I appreciate you taking the call, man.
No, anytime. Please call again. Really, really good catching up with you. Please call again.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. Call-in line is open, so now's your chance to call in. I'm telling you, the Sunday call-in show, it's tough to get through, but I will take your calls if you call in. So 205-686-3604. Happy to talk to you about this last game against South Carolina. There's a lot to go through, and as I said earlier on the show, we're trying to track the development of LeBron Ray. Looks like he will be out indefinitely. That's another big loss to the defensive side of the football. I mean, you look at the injuries that have hit Alabama. I mean, I don't know if there's another college football program that has suffered more marquee injuries to the defensive side of the ball. LeBron Ray out indefinitely. We'll get the official update from Nick Saban. You had Dylan Moses go down, Joshua McMillan go down. These are guys that are starters. I mean, then you rewind to a couple seasons ago, there was all those linebackers that dropped out. Last season, there was injuries. I'll tell you one player that I don't think that we've talked about at all, Chris Allen. What do you think of Chris Allen's play so far through the first 3 weeks? I thought at times yesterday he played really well. And I think he's a guy that you could remember. He played with the inside linebackers. It'll be interesting to see if there comes a time where Saban moves one of these veteran outside linebackers to go play inside linebackers. What about this name? Ben Davis. Is he ever going to play? Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Where are you calling from and who am I on the line with? Hello? I missed the call. Keep calling in, right? Ben Davis, right? Paging Ben Davis. I mean, is he ever going to play at Alabama? I don't know. Every time, I think people would want to see him play. Former 5-star out of Alabama. I don't know. Good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Hey, man, this is David. I called earlier. I was one of your first callers. I've got a question I wanted to ask you earlier, I forgot to ask.
Okay.
The coaching. I know we have all new coaches, assistant coaches, defensive and offensive. I've got a question. Do you believe that whenever they take over a assistant or offensive coach defense or offensive coach position, they should sign a contract. And if they leave to go to another school, like Loxley did and a couple other ones have done, should they buy out their contracts? That way it would keep some of our better – I know everybody deserves a better shot at coaching somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, Alabama transitions every year. We lose. The only coach we ain't lost is our workout coach and our head coach. That's pretty much the only ones that we still have around, you know. I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you think there should be something done or not?
I don't know. I don't know with assistant coaches. I think you look at Alabama, and I think Nick Saban actually encourages these assistant coaches to, you know, if they have a better opportunity that suits them, then to take it. I think, you know, this is college football, and I think when you're at Alabama, it's almost, this is what happens when you're at the top. Now, it's kind of interesting that it hasn't happened to Clemson. I mean, you look at a coach like Brent Venables, who you think could be a head coach somewhere, and nobody has went after him. Whereas it looks like Alabama, I mean, they had to replace 7 guys from this last season. So you might be onto something. But it seems, this is the crazy thing, right? As good as the coaching staff was last year, Saban replaced that staff with an even better staff, in my opinion. I mean, a guy like Sal Sinceri jumping on board. Remember Tosh Lapoy?
Right.
Everyone thought Tosh Lapoy, you know, was the guy, and maybe he was recruiting wise. But I think what Sal Sinceri adds is a really, you know, a depth of knowledge. You look at Brian Baker, you know, a guy who's worked with Julius Peppers, big time names in the NFL coming over to work with these young defensive linemen. So, I mean, you know, Saban, he's always playing chess. That's why he likes those analysts to get them on staff. Everybody, you know, it's not like he just freaks out. He always has someone in mind. Jeremy Pruitt is probably one of those guys in mind. I don't know how much longer he's going to be at Tennessee. Someone said that Alabama sent him to Tennessee to, you know, to ruin Tennessee, which I thought was hilarious. But I appreciate your call. I got a ton of calls that I got to get to, but you might be onto something. Maybe it's time to get these assistant coaches locked down. Thanks for calling again. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Calling line is open. 205-686-3604. People, call in. What's going on? How you doing tonight? It's Kyle Henderson. Where are you calling from, and who am I on the line with?
This is Lee from Maui, Hawaii.
How you doing, sir? Good to hear from you. What time is it over there, by the way?
It's like 4:30.
All right. Yeah, it's already 9:30 over here, so I appreciate you calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
I just like to say that I hope they do good this next couple of weeks, because they didn't look too good yesterday. The defense didn't look too good yesterday, though.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been, you know, those have been the calls tonight, that the defense, you know, has looked suspect at times against probably an above average South Carolina team, which is concerning, obviously.
Yeah, South Carolina looked pretty good yesterday, though.
Definitely, the quarterback.
Freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the quarterback was doing a good job. But I guess our offense is, you know, you can't stop our offense. So,
no.
So, it's unstoppable. So the defense has to just step up and play better. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in. First,
thank you.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Take it easy. I think last week, call line is open 205-686-3604. I think last week you got a call from Fairbanks, Alaska, and then you got a call from Hawaii. I always like those long range calls. It's awesome. Dwayne, I see you, Dwayne. You just got to keep trying to get through. How's it going? It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm David from Mobile County, Alabama.
How's it going? How was your Sunday today?
Doing great. I enjoy your show, and I walk a lot, and I listen to a lot of your podcasts.
Great.
Pretty weekly, not daily. But anyway, I really enjoyed Bama's offense yesterday. Our kickoffs are great. The kicking coverage is great. The punting coverage is great. Sometimes DeLong doesn't punt great, but otherwise the kicking game's pretty good, I think. Good enough. And I think the offense is good enough. We just got to shore up The linebackers was out of position all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they created gaping holes, and the defensive line's playing their butt off trying. The secondary is playing good enough to win. We've got to improve at one position, and that's linebacker.
Definitely.
All right, and keep up the good work. Enjoy it.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. I think that's it. I mean, I think the inside linebacker needs to improve, right? I mean, that's the one area that certainly Alabama needs to figure out something with. I mean, I'm trying to, if you have Anthony Jennings, Terrell Lewis, calling line is open, by the way, 205-686-3604. How about this? Terrell Lewis on one side, Anthony Jennings, Chris Allen, maybe you get him to be, inside linebacker. All right, here we go. Good one. How's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Where are you calling from and who I'm on the line with?
Hey, Kyle, can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hey, it's Dwayne.
Finally got through.
Man, I've dialed 100 times, man.
There's a lot of people calling the show. It's a good thing. So what's
I
on
kept getting your male voice message. But anyway, I ain't gonna worry about that. Let's just talk a little bit of game. I think people need to give special teams. I think we're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I think people need to give Will Reichert a break. He's a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be tough out there, especially in the SEC, and he knows what the pressure is that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, that guy was kicking 55, 60-yard field goals and warm-ups.
Mm-hmm. He was.
And drilling them straight through the middle.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he's going to be drafted in the NFL. He's going to be the best kicker, I believe, that Alabama's ever had.
What about Skyler? What about Skyler DeLong? What's your take on him? I mean, that
Skyler DeLong has his head up his dark place.
Brutal, but I mean, he's not productive, right? I mean, in the
I don't agree with that other caller that he saw the big trying to block the punt crowd coming after him. There's no thought process. It's catch the ball, two-step kick, and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If they get to you, it's not your fault they got to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You shouldn't even be paying attention to those guys anyway.
So
anyway, what did you think? What did you think of that targeting call? I just don't buy it, man. I didn't think it. I thought it was a clean hit. The shoulder pads was right in the chest of Helinski. I understand you're vulnerable and unprotected, and you can't fend for yourself because you're in that position. But I don't think there was any targeting there. I think that was a really bad call.
Yeah, I mean, targeting is, it's always tough. I mean, to me, in my opinion, I felt that it was targeting. But this is probably the more important takeaway is the fact that Christian Barmore came to play and he played aggressive. And I think that's something that this defense needs because we've been waiting for Christian Barmore to do something. And in the last game against New Mexico State, he graded out very well. In fact, he graded out 91 yesterday. Besides that targeting call, which, is, I guess, up in the air. He came to play, came with it. So I think Christian Barmore really stepping up because last year we didn't even see him, right? He redshirted. So it's important for him, especially being a defensive tackle, to step up. I mean, how the way that these guys have been dropping in Alabama, the more depth, the better. And Christian Barmore is someone who I've always believed in. And I'm just glad to see him playing aggressive and getting to the quarterback because not a lot of defensive linemen this season have even got a hat on the quarterback.
Right. I think our problem with our defensive line is our linebackers.
Yep.
They are out of position.
Oof.
I watched Christian Harris. I went back and watched the game and strictly did nothing but watch players.
Yeah.
And Christian Harris is almost always out of position.
Yep.
Which makes somebody blocking him very easy to do because he's already where they want to block him to anyway. So all they got to do is go stand in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of
and I think this is my take on Christian Harris. Let me know if you agree. So I think in the beginning, in these scrimmages in the first game, second game, go out and play, Christian Harris, right? Just go play just go play football. You see someone with the football, smash them, right? And now he's having to think a little bit. When you're challenged and you're playing South Carolina, imagine the speed from New Mexico State to South Carolina in that the speed and having to make decisions. Oh, I bet he's completely overwhelmed, bet he's lost, and the coaches finally had to pull him out and put in Ollie Cajo, Markel Benton, and I think as you go forward, you're going to see probably more of those other guys and less of Christian Harris, unless he can start to make adjustments and start to get acclimated to the speed of SEC football.
Is he playing the mic?
He is playing the will position. The mic position
I
is Shane
think
Lee.
they need to switch him and Shane Lee.
But the signal caller is the mic on this team. So
correct, and that's Harris, right?
No, the mic is Lee. Lee is calling the
okay,
plays. Yeah,
my bad then. I thought the right inside linebacker was always the mic, but I guess not. That's what I was saying. Lee seems to be in the right place where he's supposed to be, so I don't understand why Harris can't read that offense and know what's coming.
What about Chris Allen at the will, Shane at the mic, and then Anthony Jennings and Terrell Lewis on the edge?
Heck yeah.
Right? Does that sound like it'll work?
Excellent.
I'm serious. That could be the winning
Jennings
combination.
Jennings is everywhere.
Oh, Jennings is a
Terrell
beast.
Lewis looked like he was playing half speed. Yeah. I don't know if something's bothering him, or if he's just feeling a twinge of something that was bothering him last year, and he's a little afraid.
You saw it too, because I saw it yesterday. There was a couple times where I don't know if he just, kind of saving himself, or if, I don't know what's happening, but when you don't play 100%, that's dangerous.
Right.
But you saw it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For all your people that's listening on this call, and you can hear me, we did not play a bad game yesterday. We had 2 third downs, stopped them, and had an interception on one of them, and then we had a holding penalty, or we had an offside call. So we stopped ourselves. They went down and wound up scoring points.
Yeah.
We had stupid mistakes. That last drive, I know that ate Saban's brain right out of his head because he hates for the team to score last. Yeah. But I don't think they would have scored. I think they would have scored about 17 less points if they'd have stopped those 3 particular times that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And one of the last plays that Tua had before he left the game, Major Tennyson was wide open in the end zone, standing back there waving his arms, and Tua never saw him.
Yeah.
Now, and last thing, there is a sports announcer, and I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. He's a short guy with a flat top. He's an Oklahoma Sooners fan, and he was talking about how Jalen Hurts is going to be the 3rd Oklahoma quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy in a row. All the other guys there were arguing with him and said, you don't know what you're talking about, because Jalen is still a one-look pass and then take off with the ball. He's the best running back on their team.
Yeah, I mean, until we really see Oklahoma play a team, that has a quality defense. I mean, and not taking anything away from Jalen, I feel he's improved. I'm a big fan of him.
He's playing really well, but he's still doing the same thing. He looks at one receiver. If it's not open, he's gone.
UCLA was just terrible. So I appreciate the call. I'm so glad you finally got through, and please call again, okay?
All right, brother. One real quick thing. Helinski was going to be compared to Dan Marino.
Yeah, that's what they said earlier in the show.
Well, Tua is our next Tom Brady.
Tua is unbelievable, yeah. Tua is...
all right, brother. All right. God bless you, man. Talk to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, yeah. There was Dwayne was talking about, we had a caller before the game during our watch-along, and he was like, Helinski's going to be Dan Marino, and he was a great caller. He was actually a South Carolina fan. He was very respectful. Just had a lot of confidence in the kid and came out and balled out. Hey, how's it going? It's Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
I just called you, boss man.
Hey, could you turn down the volume in the background, please?
Yeah, I just did. I got you.
Go ahead,
man.
This
is Alex. One more time, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I've been watching Bama football for a long time. I really would like to see Ben Davis just do something besides special teams. Give him a shot. He can't be any worse than they're 2 steps behind the what's saying in Christian Harris. But outside of that, you can't tell me that Ali Cahill isn't a better athlete than what we're seeing on the field right now. Like, have you seen his footwork?
It's unbelievable. It might be the best footwork on the entire team.
I said the exact same thing. Like, you can look at him in practice. You know, I watch all his videos. You can tell that this man is an athlete, and I just don't understand why he's not on the field.
He almost looks like a safety.
I could give him defensive back. I could give him that, man. I just haven't figured out why he's not on the field.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, every day, I'm at practice. He looks great. He looks the part, but, they haven't went with him. Maybe that'll change. They had him in fullback, as you saw in that first game, starting to dabble with him a little bit more. So maybe he's just got to, earn his stripes to get on the field. I know a lot of people would want to see Ben Davis. I don't know if Ben Davis, I think this is it with Ben Davis. From what I've heard, it might be a physicality thing. I don't know if he really comes with it like a Shane Lee does, for example. So, but we'll never know until he steps on the field. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable that he's been here this long and he just hasn't been playing.
Hasn't done it. I mean, I've seen him make big plays on special teams. That's about it. But I haven't seen him get the shots. You can't tell me the world they've earned their stripes more in one spring practice than these guys have in.
Yeah.
No, Christian Harrison, Shane Lee in one spring practice than Ali Cahill did from last year, or Ben Davis has for the last 2 or so years, man. It's crazy, but that's what I really want to touch with Ali. That guy is, I look at him, he's unbelievable, man. So
yeah,
I believe you guys with that. Somebody else got to talk about him, but that's crazy.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, Keith.
Call line is open, 205-686-3604. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to dig into that linebacker back, right? Who's in here? Who's in there, right? Is it Cahill? Is it Markel Benton? Is it Jalen Moody? Is it going to be Ben Davis? Is Alabama, ever going to swap over Chris Allen? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what exactly happens moving forward. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
This is London from Tifton, Georgia.
What's up, buddy?
I'd like to say,
how you doing, man?
How's your Sunday been going, Kyle?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. No, it's great, man. I always like to scratch out time on Sunday and hang out, with my family. Just like everybody else. I'm married, got kids. Took the kids to lunch, enjoyed time with the family. It's never a bad time to hug a loved one, man. So what's on your mind, man?
I want to talk about, I know a lot of people love saying Alabama is going on like a downfall. Not like a downfall, but they're struggling. But I like to say all these teams are pretty much struggling now. Mm-hmm. You see, Clemson. If you saw the Texas A&M game at the beginning, Kellen Mond missed a wide open pass. Mm-hmm. And they would have scored. Mm-hmm. And Georgia, they struggled against
Murray State.
Yeah, Murray State. They struggled at the beginning.
It was tied 7-7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Alabama, the offense is, oh my gosh, the offense is just another level.
Yeah.
And then the defense, we're playing a lot of young guys, but I feel like throughout the season they'll be really great and they'll make a lot of good plays. But yeah, I want to see more effort put into it from Terrell Lewis.
Yep.
Because I actually play football. I can tell when a great player is just. I feel like he protecting himself too, because he don't want to get injured or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the defense and Christian Harris.
Yeah.
He was out of sorts a little, so I was like, man.
Yeah, he didn't have his best game, and I mean, you look at a guy like Terrell Lewis, and you really need him to come through, and I think he will. I think it's just a matter of time until, he really does his thing. I mean, we've all been waiting for him. I mean, we saw what he did in week 1. He didn't really have to do anything in week 2 against New Mexico State. Yesterday, I really wasn't too happy with his performance. The good thing about Alabama is their schedule is favorable, right? Because, these next couple games, they have enough time to really figure out the defense. They can figure out things against Southern Miss. They take on Ole Miss. They take on Arkansas. So that will allow them to really develop some sort of cohesiveness. You got to think before they take on Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, the schedule is very favorable.
Yeah, very.
Like,
yeah. This is the schedule's a joke. I don't like it. Sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. It'll probably be good in terms of building depth, but it just I don't know. This schedule's absolutely boring. Southern Miss, not excited about that. Ole Miss, not excited about that. Then they have an open week. Texas A&M, that'll be difficult. Tennessee, I mean, they barely, they won their first game just last week. Then Arkansas, I mean, so they have time to figure things out. And, that back end schedule will be difficult, though. LSU, Auburn, I mean, those are very difficult games. Anything else on your mind while you're on the show?
This is the last thing I want to say, Kyle. I was going to say, like, of course, I don't want us, like, Alabama to lose, but in the past seasons, it showed, like, when we taking a loss, we just win the national championship, like, or we play way better.
Yeah.
When we take a regular season loss. And, with the offensive line, since I played offensive line, with Owens, he's not making the contact. Like, he letting the contact come to him. And I'm like, yeah, you just can't do that. Like you said, he was in the backfield with Tua. And at the beginning of the game, I was kind of thinking about, like, towards the future, like when we play teams like Auburn and LSU, how will he hold up?
Well, I think we haven't mentioned this though, but Najee missed the block as well. I mean, he saw that. He completely missed the assignment. I mean, that was on him. He
got thrown down.
Yeah, he completely missed his assignment. So Owens has been struggling. You're right. I mean, when they face a more challenging defensive line, and if you think about it, teams with an opposing and challenging defensive line have really been Alabama's Achilles heel, right? I mean, look what Auburn. Yeah. I mean, look at that Auburn team. I mean, I had never seen Alabama abused the way Auburn abused them a couple years ago in Auburn, and Auburn has a very good defensive line this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're dealing with something serious.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the call in. Please call again next time. Good catching up with you tonight on Sunday.
Yeah, anytime. Stay blessed.
All right. Thank you so much. You too. All right. Call line is open 205-686-3604. Yeah, Dwayne, I saw that. Virginia, Florida State. I'm not surprised. Are you? I mean, that Florida State's program is a train wreck. I mean, they should have lost that game against Monroe. The kid doesn't miss the PAT. They're 0-3. Florida State. They added Jim Leavitt to the defensive staff. I don't know if that'll do any good. Probably. He did a good job with Colorado. I covered the Buffs a while ago, and he was a defensive coordinator before he split out to Oregon. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Jared from Buffalo, man. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jared? How you doing? How's your Sunday, buddy?
A little bit better. Throat still hurts a little bit from yesterday. But
the defense got to you, man. You deserve perfection, right? I mean, you weren't having it from the defense.
Man, I deserve it. I'm just saying, though, Kyle, from a team that talks about redemption and all this talk about how we got, this is our redemption year and we gotta show up and we gotta bring that Bama glory. It didn't look like it last couple days ago on Saturday against South Carolina. Did not look like it. They didn't come close.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if you caught the update earlier, but I was telling everyone that looks like LeBron Ray could be out indefinitely. So we're trying to, kind of get all the facts together, and we actually might not know the extent of it until tomorrow, till we hear with Saban. So we probably won't actually release that story until midday tomorrow, unless we find out some more news. But it's always better to hear it from the head man, and he's always forthright with injury news. But either way, it's going to be a gigantic blow. Now you're looking at Justin Egbogbe probably stepping up. You have a DJ Dell stepping up as a freshman. You have the two inside linebackers as freshmen. Jordan Battle's been playing as a freshman. I mean, it's like all these freshmen that are starting on the defense. Is it concerning to you?
it's a little concerning to me because you have to question the depth. It's like, why are our sophomores, juniors, and our other veterans, why aren't they stepping up to the plate? Like, you look at Clemson and all the losses that they suffer from their defenses, and who are their replacements? Their replacements are fifth-year seniors, juniors. It's a lot of guys with 3, 4, 5 years or 6 years of experience.
Great point.
Like their middle linebacker, Skelsky, their middle linebacker Skelsky, replacing Kendall Joseph. That's a fifth-year senior. That's a guy that's waited his turn for 4 or 5 years and just a special teams contributor, and a guy that was trusted with the defense and the main play caller. And that's a guy that he's playing even better than Kendall Joseph was last year for Clemson. He's playing like Ben Bowler out there. So I question the depth of Alabama a little bit,
But Jared, let me interrupt you real quick. You got to think that a lot of these guys from Alabama, they go to the league after their junior year. It's not like they're staying around for 2 more years. Think about it. Mac Wilson could still be here, and now he's balling out with the Browns. I don't know if he's balling out. He balled out in the preseason, but still, you get what I'm saying. He would have still been here. So these guys here at Bama, they go to the league, so you got to be dipping down to the freshmen. And it's crazy because people are like, freshmen don't play at Alabama. Don't go to Alabama. You're never going to play at Alabama.
Oh, they play.
You're starting 5 freshmen on defense. Crazy.
They play. They play now. So hey, this could be an attraction for a lot of high school guys. Like, hey, you know what? I see like 7 guys playing for Alabama as true freshmen. Hey, maybe I can go and start and potentially star the true freshman. So this could be a huge when it comes to recruitment. But as far as our season goes, you talked about it earlier, and I completely agree with you. This schedule is boring. It's very, very boring. Yeah. But as far as it helping our depth with the experience, yes, it's going to help.
Best
it's
schedule
really
for
gonna
it.
help.
Yeah, best schedule for it.
It's really going to help. But again, when you're going against Kellen Mond and Texas A&M, which is going to be in 3 weeks, when you're going against a quarterback that you're going to have to, it's hard to play him because you have to contain him. You have to try to play QB contain. You got to stay disciplined. You got to stay you really have to be in your gaps. Yep. And and one of the things that Kellen Mond loves to do, he loves to scramble a lot to the outside, or they love to run a lot of zones to the outside. Our linebackers couldn't flow when the ball ran to the outside. Yeah. One of their for South Carolina's running backs, they had 12 carries for 102 yards and averaged 8.5 yards a carry. Yeah. And a lot of those runs were just to the outside or just in the middle where our linebackers couldn't stay disciplined through their gaps. That's a huge concern. That's a very, very huge concern. Mm-hmm. So I question whether moving forward now, can Alabama get at least, can they control the gaps? Can they control gap containments? Because DJ Dell, from what I've seen, and Raekwon Davis too, were the only 2 players that held their own zones, that held their own blocks. But what does South Carolina do? Run to the left, a lot of zones, run to the left, and then they would try to flow and then run all the way to the outside and then run all the way to the middle gap containment, and then our linebackers couldn't handle it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot to digest when you look at the defense, and it's the more we talk about it, the more I'm even concerned about the defense. I think the secondary, was certainly challenged, as I keep saying. The inside linebackers is concerning. Do you think? Is there someone else on this team that? What's your take on a player like Chris Allen? You think he's a guy that we haven't talked enough about that could step up and help that inside linebacker unit?
He's an athletic freak. But can he have the? I want to know what's mentally. I know you got it athletically. What's the mentality? Can you consume most of the plays? What's your instinct as a football player? I know you have all the athletic ability, but I question your instinct as a football player. Yeah. Right? I know I keep referring to Clemson a lot, but 3-star, 4-star players and guys that waited their turn, they're not the most athletic players out there. Well, now they're starting to get athletic with their recruitment, but what do they have the brains. They have the football mentality and the instincts in order to absorb Tyler Venable's play calls. Yeah. And what's happened with Clemson? They're now what Alabama is, and that's now being defense first, offense later. Yeah. it's so I like Christopher Allen. I like guys like Ali Cajo and Jalen Moody. Like, those guys are athletic monsters and freaks. Even Christian Harris. Not a lot of people know he didn't even play linebacker last year in high school.
I know. I always like to I always like to point that out because it's crazy. So Christopher Harris, he played corner and receiver in high school. And now you come to Alabama and you're starting at inside linebacker. The crazy thing is he's 6'2", 244 pounds playing corner. It's like, talk about...
And receiver.
And receiver. And he was returning kicks too. Talk about an athletic freak. That's crazy. Man, that's a lot to be thrown at a freshman. Hey, welcome to Alabama. You're starting at inside linebacker. Like, what? Man, so I don't know if you saw a 39-point favorite against Southern Miss. I mean, that's another snoozer at 11. It's I guess in a game like this, you just continue to work on the depth and you continue to try to figure out the inside linebacker play, try to figure out, who's going to step up with all these injuries that continue to happen. And most importantly, you try to keep people healthy. I mean, I certainly don't want to jinx anything, so maybe I shouldn't even say it, but all these injuries have been seem to be on the defensive side of the ball, right? Got to keep them healthy, man. Got to keep them healthy, and got to keep those guys upright and get the W and get out of there. Anything else while you're on the show, man?
Yeah, Chris Owens has to. I'm sorry, Chris Owens has to go. Dickinson's going to have to step inside, or Darian Delcourt's going to have to get the opportunity. But this is the third straight game now that I've seen Chris Owens just brutalized, murdered by guys that I think that Chris Owens should win against, or at least hold his own against. And he's getting brutal. This is the third straight game in a row. It's not like this is the South Carolina, but like, if you watch the film, this is the third game in a row that he's gotten torched inside. Yeah. So I think that we need a replacement at the center position, whether if it's Dickerson or Delcourt. I think that Deontay Brown, he's a big piece. We need him back as soon as possible because I like Evan Neal a lot, and I think he has a promising future. But I don't think he's an answer there at the left guard position.
No,
I think he's a tackle.
It's probably going to be. It's probably going to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. He's an NFL tackle.
He's a tackle.
So what you're going to do is you're probably going to put Deontay Brown. He'll get back after the fourth game. Him at left guard, Landon Dickerson at center, and then right guard, either I guess Matt Womack or Emil Ekiyor. So I think that line should shake out because I don't think it's the bookends that are having difficulties. I think Alex Otherwood and Jedrick Wills are knowledgeable enough at this point in their career to where they've been doing a great job weekly. They're still going to, they're not perfect, but the interior line play, I don't think it's completely solidified going into week 4 just because Deontay Brown and Emil Ekiyor aren't exactly playing right now.
Yeah, it's just I questioned whether should they put Evan Neal at left tackle and then keep Alex Leatherwood at the guard position just for a year to have at least Evan Neal develop, to have him just more develop as a football player.
I like that too. I like that.
Just for him to develop it, and then the right side could be. Then you already know what you can do with your right side there as well. So I kind of questioned maybe they should have went in that direction because playing guard when you're going against 300, when you're playing against other 5 and 5-star guys, 320 guys in that interior. And Evan Neal, he's an outside presence, right? He's an outside presence. It's hard to deal with those guys inside, especially because he doesn't have the greatest get off speed.
No,
as
you're right.
He doesn't have the greatest punch, and he's a big dude. But when you're going against monsters that know how to use their hands and that can push you and bull rush you back, especially when you've been playing at least tackle at the high school level and you haven't been really accustomed to the guard position since your freshman year, that's a very tough assignment to deal with a true freshman.
You know who's really good that we haven't talked about the center position? I'd like to see him get some reps on Saturday. Darian Dalcourt. He's a very good offensive lineman. He's actually the third center. So I actually have right here, this is Alabama provides this depth chart. I'm showing it right now. So you can catch all this on BamaInsider.com, but it's the center, how they have it is obviously Chris Owens, Dickerson. It's like a slash, and then it's Darian Dalcourt, who's a freshman. Darian Dalcourt's a very, very good offensive lineman, and I've been really impressed with him. Pierce quick as well. So good call, though. I think you brought up some great points, and I always appreciate when you call it, man. You had some great stuff yesterday, by the way. So really good stuff.
Yeah, as always. I'm going to let you get to the other colleagues, though, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Enjoy your night.
All right.
All right, Jarek from Buffalo. Great caller. I'll take a couple more calls, and then I'm going to call it a night. I need to get ready for tomorrow. Wanted to tomorrow, the schedule, as always, is my stream still okay? Someone, Dwayne, saying its screen is locked. Schedule for tomorrow is Nick Saban at 12 p.m. I'll bring that press conference right back here to BamaInsider.com. How's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. How was your Sunday? Who am I on the line with?
It's Rex, man, from Helena. We've talked a couple times.
Cool, man. How was your Sunday?
Oh, dude, it was great, man. Hey, that last caller sounds like a young man. He's gonna have. Is he a sports analyst? I mean, is that a profession for him?
Isn't Jarek's great, right?
He's well spoken. I think.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's young, and it sounds like he needs to get into sports broadcasting, radio. I don't even know what it's really called, but he has a great future. Good radio voice. I like, and he's very. He watched the game, obviously.
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorite callers. You're exactly right. Every time Jarek calls in, I mean, he's spot on. Yesterday, if you listen to my podcast that I posted yesterday, listen to what he says about the defense, breaks it down. So, yeah, kudos. You're exactly right. That's why I love when he calls in, or a lot of the guys that call in. I mean, we just break it down and have some great callers, and Jarek's certainly definitely one of our top
he has
callers.
He has a future in broadcasting
Definitely.
and some type of sports for sure. He knows football. But I'm going to say, another thing people aren't talking about, which is strange to me, is, yeah, we're struggling. Alabama's struggling. Ain't no way around it. Freshmen everywhere. But at the end of the day, what is one thing Nick Saban has done? They play to each game, and they arise to most occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that can't be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
We struggling, but we play each week.
Yep.
And each week we rise to that occasion. And I just think, let's just hope. Everybody talks about, I forget exactly how to touch on it, but coaching turnovers is a lot where our guys who are staying for the next year, I think that might be a little bit of their struggles is the coaching turnover. You got this one guy that's teaching you all last year, do it this way. Now you got a guy with a little different twist.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. I mean, think about, the camaraderie that you have to develop with new coaches, when the season starts. Now, I know everything's easy. It's probably not easy during August camp. But, I mean, during the game, it's completely different because now you have coaches who are on the sideline. You have coaches who are up in the box. You're trying to develop some sort of cohesiveness as a coaching staff, and these coaches weren't here last year. What's your responsibility this year? I don't want to overstep this guy's lines. I don't want to piss Saban off. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that is going into this. So I think the assistant coaches, when you have a staff, think about, we all played high school football. We all played, maybe some college football. The coaching staffs that stick together, they know exactly what to do. They don't even have to think twice about it. Saban's out here having to develop new continuity with these coaches every single year. I think that certainly affects the team. And the thing is, he continues to do a great job, and they continue to dominate college football. It's amazing. That's a great testament to leadership and management from Nick Saban.
Right, 100%. And just to arise to the occasion with South Carolina. And them boys struggled, but they can't, And if you look at the score, it's like ass or butt whooping, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the game, it was not. It was like they were in there. But let's switch the roles and let's talk. Let's not worry about national championships or Biletnikoff awards. But Jerry Jeudy, if you watched his every step that you could see on the game, remember when Ruggs broke it out for the touchdown? Jeudy realized Ruggs caught the ball. What'd he do? Head right back in the game, made the block that freed Henry Ruggs.
The blocks that these guys make downfield, the receivers, is incredible. They're a selfless group. You talk about Devontae Smith. You talk about Henry Ruggs.
Devontae Smith is the most selfless of the Alabama receiving corps.
Those guys,
I think Devontae, I've loved him. And even before, like I was watching him when Tua was telling him in that All-Star game, and before they even went to college, he was like, hey, come to Bama, bro.
Yep.
Let's do great things. I mean, you can go back and watch those videos, but Devontae Smith is one of the toughest of the receiving corps. Waddle's going to be our savior next year. He'll be the only one left.
Yeah.
What is Ruggs a sophomore or a junior?
Ruggs is a junior. But I'm telling you though, John Mechie, he's very John Mechie's good. You're gonna have John Mechie. You're gonna have Slade Bolden will be out there. At some point, Terrell Shavers has got to do something, right? So you have Terrell Shavers, Xavier Williams. So there's some guys.
Well, the real question is, what's the quarterback next year? That's a real question, and not that I'm looking forward to next year. It's off the back of my mind.
That's what we're gonna live off in the summertime next year. When there's nothing to talk about, we're gonna talk about every single day. We're gonna be like, all right, take the calls. Who's the quarterback? Call in.
Mac Jones is what?
Mac Jones he's a redshirt sophomore. So he's gonna be around. He's not going anywhere.
You think he's got what it takes? From what I've seen, I think he might. And that's with kind of with a weak offensive line. He's out there doing. But I get it. When you're up 40 points, the defense, the other team's defense, they're out there just kind of like, can we just please run the clock out?
Sure. You have, you have, Talia Tagovailoa. You have Paul Tyson. Luke on the comment box says Bryce Young. Bryce Young is committed to USC. I don't know if you want to be committed to USC any longer. I don't know what happened to all those California schools. It's like they're completely diving.
I haven't caught your whole show tonight. I normally try to, and usually I'm a little ripped when I call, but tonight I'm feeling
that's good. Normal. That's fine.
But what's up with this? They're like the monetizing the college players that they're talking about. Now, what I'm gathering is that they're going to be able to sign jerseys and sell them online. That the colleges are not going to pay the kids. Correct? They're just going to be able to make money off of their brand.
Yeah, so currently it's the bill is actually SB 206, and the players would be allowed to earn money based off their image and likeness, right? So if jersey sales, that would go directly to the players, for example, or if the video game was to come back, the players could be on that game and then they could get cash from, for example, EA Sports, and that would not affect their scholarship. Now,
but now commercials, how would commercials work? Because I'm here to tell you, Nick Saban ain't gonna let Jerry Jeudy take Thursday off to go shoot an ESPN commercial.
Well,
Nick Saban's gonna be like, "Oh no, sir."
Well, you know what? I mean, being like, because obviously I live here in Tuscaloosa. ESPN sleeps at the football stadium, or at the Malmore complex. They're everywhere. You can't walk past anywhere without seeing ESPN. So they would cut out time if the money is there. The thing is, it's going to be California versus the NCAA. And what's interesting is I think that states like Oregon and Washington would follow suit. But the first state that actually jumped on and said, hey, we want to think about this too, is actually South Carolina. So you're going to see a major rift in college football here pretty soon if California is able to win that against the NCAA, and I think they will. I mean, look, the NCAA couldn't even beat the lawyers of Justin Fields. Justin Fields is like, hardship, I'm playing, and he's playing now at Ohio State.
Well, let me throw this monkey wrench in that whole idea. So you got, and listen, we're gonna talk about it, Antonio Brown, all wilding out, acting crazy. Sounds to me personally, millionaire baby, correct?
Of course.
Okay. So now these kids already have a hard enough time with just knowing in their junior year, I'm one of the best. I'm getting paid. I'm out. Yep. All I got to do is not get hurt, and I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yep.
Then they go to the pros. What was it? The linebacker. Oh my God, he wore the club. Oh, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name. Alabama linebacker.
Just recently.
Just recently, and he got. Remember all the domestic violence problems.
Reuben Foster.
Reuben Foster, yes, one of the best ever played the position.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he at now? He's out, right?
I believe he is with the Washington Rollskins.
Is he playing?
I don't know if he's playing, but I mean, between Washington and Baltimore, I think those two, honestly, I think they have like 13 players from Alabama, former players from Alabama.
Well, all I'm saying is you start pumping money into these, and they're kids, dude. I mean, I'm 35 years old. I'm still a kid. But they're kids, man. I think the money, I mean, a free education, and like what Nick Saban is all about, we're here for their betterment of their future, not their football. The money comes with the football, but if you do everything else you're supposed to do, you'll be successful in life. And so I'm kind of torn. Like, do they deserve money while they're making their college a ton of? I don't know, man. I'm torn. Like, I don't really have a dog in that fight, but I just think that the money's going to cause problems for these young men, especially in the world that we live in today.
Yeah, more money, more problems, right? That's
right.
No matter where you're at.
And these kids, I mean, they go straight to the pros and they're millionaires overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you act with how would you act 13 million guaranteed?
I mean, at the same point, I mean, you got to think of it this way. I mean, let's say our 100,000 fans going to watch Nick Saban coach, or are they going to watch, Tua Tagovailoa and Jerry Jeudy play? I mean, so
we're going for Tua and Jeudy and Devontae Smith.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if those guys can they're going to be paid, of course, but if they can, I can't even imagine how much cash Tua would be bringing in for jersey sales. If thousands of people, I see it, Bryant Denny Stadium, everyone has a Tua Tagovailoa jersey. Yes, Tua is going to get his, and people are like, well, he's going to get paid anyways. Yeah, well, what about guys that it might not work out for them.
And you know what? Okay, Tua. I mean, he gives glory to God every game, which is amazing this day and age. And oh my God, I love it.
Oh yeah.
But you got guys like Reuben Foster. They got $1 million, and they just didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I think it's going to help and hurt, and it's going to do it at what it's. You know what I mean? I think some guys it's going to be great. Tim Tebow, he'd have been a millionaire off of jersey sales when he was in college.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow. Yeah. I mean, I ain't a Florida guy. Don't get me wrong, but Tim Tebow. I mean, he's one of. I like him. People can dog him all they want, but I like Tim Tebow. He's a great guy, and look at his future. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying, but
all right. Well, it was good catching up with you. Please call again next time. I got to run to the next caller.
All right, dude. See you.
Take it easy. All right, good call. And I'll take one more call, and then I'll call it a night. So 205-686-3604. Appreciate you guys calling tonight. I really like the call-in show. This is the second season that we've done the call-in show. By the way, I know someone asked in the comment box, what's the line for the game on Saturday against Southern Miss? The line opens up at 39 points. Large spread, but again, Alabama has been. Did you see the spread against South Carolina? It was 25 points. Ended up winning by 24? How do they do that? Vegas always on it. As I always say at the end of the show, be good people out there. And special thanks to our men and women in the United States military. We certainly appreciate what you do for our great country. So thank you, for your service, past or present. And, it's a great place to be in Tuscaloosa. I'll be here, all week. And Monday, we will bring you the Nick Saban press conference. That'll be at 12. So check for that press conference to be uploaded probably around 12:30. And, get practice insider reports on BamaInsider.com. Monday through Wednesday, tons of coverage on BamaInsider.com all throughout the week. Get a free 30 days, BamaInsider.com. Promo code is Roll Tide, one word. Check out all the coverage, especially the recruiting coverage and the team coverage by Andrew and Tony Sakalas. Those guys do a great job reporting and coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This is Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. We'll take this last call, and then we'll get out of here. How's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Kyle, this is David from the net.
Hey, what's up, man? How was your son today?
Oh, it's pretty good. Everything's fine. Can't complain.
Oh, no, you can't, man. Every day's a good one. So what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, I want to, like you had a caller earlier, they were worrying about Jalen. I mean, he haven't played a good defense, but it's basically the same thing with Tua. I'm sitting there watching the game, so it looked like a bunch of Tua passes. It looked just like the scheme they used for Jalen. Because no really passes were over, really bombs in the air over 30 yards or nothing. But, I like the guy, I respect him, but who can go down in history saying they were responsible for Alabama making it to the national championship 3 years in a row?
Yeah. I mean,
nobody.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, what we're seeing right now, that's why, that grade early on when I showed it at Pro Football Focus is bewildering to me, because what he's doing, I don't know. I mean, of course, someone always comes along and is better, but I just think right now it's so important to appreciate what Tua is doing and how he's representing himself, Alabama. I mean, this is it. It's not going to get much better than what you're seeing right here. Tua is going to be talked about for decades. And I mean, you just need to just sit back and enjoy it, because this is really incredible what we're seeing each Saturday.
Yeah, I just hope the offense can, just gel together a little more. We ain't got to have a dominant run the game, but at least a run the game people can respect.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I know it's no more Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, but, we got to have some folks, or they don't run it. Everybody, we get up against a top-notch defense. They're going to man up against Jerry Jeudy now. We saw that with Clemson. We saw it with LSU.
Yep.
And them slants going to get tighter to get passed through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I just hope we just gel together, and, it'd be fun if I were to see Tua and Jalen go at it. I said, oh, man, I wouldn't be able to root for nobody.
Yeah, those are
I couldn't root. I've been a Bama fan for almost 40 years, and I couldn't, I like what Jalen did for Alabama when he was here, and I like what Tua doing now.
It was.
I said we were to play them. I couldn't root.
I was looking on social media on Twitter, and I saw, former Alabama players. Some are saying Tua for Heisman, some are saying Jalen. For example, Mac Wilson was like Jalen for Heisman, and then Damian Harris was like Tua for Heisman. So, I mean, I think it just goes to show that these guys really respected both of those. I can't even believe that Alabama had both of those guys in the same clubhouse at the same time. And the way they've been representing themselves as men, I think is really important, because I think we need more mentors that lead by example. And if the youth can emulate those two, I mean, I got a son too, and if they can emulate that type of character, then the world's going to be better for it, because those are two men who represent themselves very well. And I have a lot of respect for the character, because I don't think we see it enough. Antonio Brown, he's getting the headlines for acting the way he's acting, whatever. I mean, these two young men, the way they're acting and representing themselves, so much more impressive, because I think that translates to life more.
Yeah, if them kids going to get paid, I wouldn't directly put it directly in their hand. It'd be going toward books and food, because they get that money, they're going to wild out with it.
Yeah.
It'd be a matter of time.
All right, well, thank you so much for
and
calling.
College be almost like a pimping game. I appreciate it, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. All right. Okay, good stuff, everyone. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm gonna turn out, but I appreciate you guys joining me tonight on the call-in show. Please call again. You can call in too and leave a voicemail to be played on the show, 205-686-3604. Thank you so much for joining us, having fun. And we're going into week 4 already. Nick Saban press conference coming tomorrow at 12 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. All the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch up with you soon from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. No. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson signing off. See you guys.